For this next animal, the clock is ticking. It is the most endangered carnivore in all of Africa and one of the rarest canids in the whole world. Fewer than 500 of its kind remain, holed up in the rugged highlands of Ethiopia. That is why today we are highlighting a modded animal species which is in grave danger of extinction, and we are going to give it a worthy home in BOLLO, the Ethiopian wolf. Join me! For this video I've generated some atmospheric tunes inspired by traditional African music. I hope you also enjoy the tunes, and if you're into music at all, I have plenty of other content on this channel. Yes, I'm still taking the bold step to include both gaming and music on one channel. Perhaps foolishly so, we'll see. Right, the first step of this build was landscaping. The idea was that the plateau will have these rocky foothills or outcroppings, and that the guests will be able to see the animals through a unique tunnel view, where I will place these large glass panels to make sure that the guests can walk around the plateau as well and see the wolves, the cheetah, the wild dogs and the other inhabitants of the foothills in their private secluded areas. So we are adding these faux rock structures around the habitat, and very soon we will move on to adding even more of them. Yes, this is where I start to build a sort of an arch, and the idea was that the monorail would travel through the arch on its way up the plateau. And very soon you will see I will have built the monorail and the rail that will go through this arch, sort of over the wolf habitat and onto the plateau. Another benefit of these rocky structures is of course that they will serve as a natural boundary between the habitats and the zones of the zoo, this rocky plateau and the shadowy trail here at the end. We built a moat which will separate a more private viewing area and a overhead viewing gallery. I opted to go for a lot of elevation in the habitat, since these animals live in the highlands. They live 3,000 meters above sea level, so I guess they would enjoy a more rugged terrain. I create another mud wall here, something that I've only recently realized is not that challenging, although I still need to, vary a little bit, be a bit more bold and creative with it, but it's still a lot of fun to do. These stalactite and stalagmite pieces really changed the game there. So yeah, they give a unique look, lovely look to all of your habitats. I complete the elevation here, make sure that it looks all right, and I create the path upon which the guests will have a overhead view of the wolves, and under this path will be a very nice viewing gallery that I'm really proud of. I really like the vibe that I went for there. You'll see when I get to it. Right, we construct the moat. You can see the first wolves are already in exploring. We add sand, though looking back I think I'm going to opt for a bit more of a rocky terrain underneath the grass, because the animals live in very interesting rocky hills and very sparse terrain. I think I've even added more plants. Here you see me placing the dried buffalo grass. I will be adding the dried blue stem grass as well, sinking it a bit deeper in the ground to make sure there is more variation in its look. We create a group of this dried blue stem and add it wherever. I mean, the key to building habitats that look lush or just have a lot of vegetation is just spend a lot of time doing it. Take your time, put it everywhere, combine different kinds, make sure the random rotation feature is on, make sure that there is a variation in the height, usually the big plant in the middle and the sort of the children of that plant around it. So yeah, I think I like this color palette, looking for the right type of tree to go in there. I eventually decide to go for, I believe it's called the Umpingo tree, which is, I believe, one of the best looking trees in the game. You see me looking here for the right kind of plant to go in there. There we go, the search for the tree. Eventually I almost went for this olive tree, but I think you see me finding the tree, and I think I will place a second one soon enough. Finishing up the rocks here, placing a second tree. Then I started building the plaza, a fun little plaza in front of the habitat. Just to summarize, we had a monorail going through an arch. We had a sort of simple, modest staff building right over here, which will hide the fact that there isn't a staff building at all inside of there. I've kind of abandoned doing that. I know how to do that a little bit, but I want to keep my sanity. It's not the focus of this series. Right, the final enrichment for the wolves. Place for them to sleep. Place for them to drink. And they are inside of the habitat. This is what I mean. This I added a separate private viewing area. And the general idea was that I created the marquee beam and the cables from the Zookeeper animal pack to create a feel that you still have the fresh air and the direct contact with the animals, while at the same time being safe from them. We create 3 kind of quirky mud huts with me just randomly spamming pieces from the African theme all over. It's been a while since I've really went into prop work and using the props from the game. It's not my forte. And buildings in general are not my forte. You see with me constructing these very weird huts with this strange, unique design, if I could say so myself. But I think the general quirky nature of this plaza, it's fun. Every building has its own strange little identity, with fences on top or a thatch roof with a little African hut. I believe I add a cart on top of this one as well eventually. Here is the hut, which I still don't understand, that piece. Is it meant to represent an actual hut that people live in, or sort of a sculpture of a hut? I'm not sure. Anyway, there's a restroom here, and all of the food and drinks that my guests could enjoy, could want. We create some more funky looking pillars around it. Very colorful, very fun. Very pleasant area to be. Very soon we will add some planters, as you can see. Make sure that there's some greenery around. We will also add plants around this whole plaza. I don't think I've recorded that, but you will see in the eventual completion of the build. We add some random drums, I guess, for the guests to play, or for the children to play. More boxes everywhere. Yeah, I really like this. I think I could go back to other places in the zoo and add more junk, pretty much, because that's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at is junk, really. But I think I should be adding it to other places as well. It does give you a lot of immersion and realism, because an area like this would have a lot of atmosphere connected to it. A cart, I will add a cart, I believe. I will add some more bags filled with probably props, right? These fake bags. Some rugs to give a textured look. Orange here. Right. Some random fabric and a cart to go on top here. So yeah, I really like the look of this plaza. And what did I do next? An umbrella? I don't know what the umbrella is doing there. A statue, right, we're adding a lion statue on top here, made from scrap metal, because the lions, of course, live very close. Also added these 2 blueprints from the base game that I don't think I've ever used. And of course the picnic tables for the guests to sit and enjoy, and then the sausage tree to conclude the build of that, and we go into the cinematic overview of the habitat. Thank you for sticking with me and the obvious cold that I have. I think my voice will sound quite stuffy, but yeah, I still wanted to get this video out because it's been a while since my previous video.